Today we got a 2013 Ram 2500 body control module. It's got the MPC 5515 chip in it. This is our pinout that we're using. I looked up the chip, transferred it over to with my multimeter to all these. So right there is our connection in relation to the chip. And that is what each one is. Here is what the xhorse software shows us. I don't like hooking up to these little pins here. It's super hard to do. So I pinned it out with the multimeter so that I could hook up to the actual pins on the board. So to find this, you go under MCU, Motorola, MPC55 with the X's, and then select your chip. We're basically just going to read the flash. I don't think we need the shadow. I'm going to read it anyway. I don't think there's much in it. I think just this is like the only thing it pulled up. So I don't think that's going to be something that we need to transfer over when we do our clone. Right here is the part number that we're working with. This thing was actually super hard to come by. It took the customer quite a while to find a replacement one. We're going to go to code flash. Second. We need to power it on with our go diag. And then we'll go to that. Read. So I have this set up to verify. So it's going to read it once, and then it's going to read it again to verify that all the data is correct, and that we got a solid read. Well, that's reading. It wanted us to put a resistor in right here, but I actually read it without the resistor, and it read fine. I added it in just to see if maybe that was the reason I wasn't getting anything in the shadow, but it did not change anything. So you can put it in, read it with it, without it. You're probably going to get the same thing, but I figured I'd mention that. As soon as I say you don't need it, somebody will, have an issue, and that'll be the reason. So right now it's verifying the data that it just read. So it just finished. Everything looks good. Go up here to File. I'm gonna save this. I've already read it once and saved it, so we're just gonna select that. Now we are going to desolder everything here and solder it onto our clone, and we'll be back. All right, we are swapped over to our replacement, our clone board. Gonna go ahead and hit read. All right, we finished our first read. We're gonna go into the verification read. Looks like it finished. So now that it's finished, go to File, Save File. I've already saved it here with clone at the end. And then, see how all this stuff didn't look like it changed? Just to be sure, maybe it's buffer. Go to compare. Select that first one that we read. Open. And there we can see that there is differences in the file. Just to make sure that it didn't just read us some generic or didn't bring up the new file for some reason. It always worries me when I don't see any change when it pops up with the new one. But we can see there is differences, so we know we did get a different read. So we exit out of that. We can go to shadow. We had this towards the bottom in this one. We'll go ahead and read it. See if we come up with anything in here. We did get something that's a little bit different though. It's about the same area as the other one. We're gonna go over here to the flash. File, open. We're gonna grab the original flash. Should be this one. We're gonna go erase first. Okay. We're gonna go to right. Well, I guess it would have erased for us. We didn't need to do that before we wrote it. It says erase before writing has been enabled, and the erase operation will clear the chip data. Are you sure to continue? Okay. So I guess we didn't need to erase it first. It would have done it on its own. This is the first time I've done one of these. I did a video on the newer one. It basically looks, it looks identical to this. It's just got a different chip in it. And that chip is not, this chip in these is not supported by the Autel. I know we used the Autel to clone the last one in the other video that looked identical, but it will not clone these. It's not supported. All right, that finished writing. No errors. All right, so now I'm just rereading the flash, and I'm going to compare it to the file that we wrote just to make sure everything's good to go. All right. Okay, we're going to go to save file. Recheck. Save. We're going to go to buffer. Compare. We're going to compare it to our original. Open. And we have some differences. Let's exit. File. Or buffer. Compare. Let's check it against the clone. Yeah, we have a bunch of differences compared to the clone also. So it's not like it just rewrote or didn't write the file. It didn't, definitely did not write correctly. Let's erase this thing. Okay. Now let's read it and see if we actually got everything erased. So once this thing finishes, we should have all Fs now. All right, we have all Fs. Now let's go into open file, our original file. Let's write it. Okay. We'll see if we can get it to come up correct. And guys, this is why we always reread it and compare it and check it. If I wouldn't have, I would have just said, oh, it wrote, no errors, thrown it in the box. Customer would have got it, and immediately he would have called me and said, hey, something's up. It does not start my vehicle. I guarantee with as much code as was changed, there's no way it would have worked. So this is why we always do this. All right, just finished up writing. Go to File, Save File, recheck. Save. File, or buffer, compare. Select our original file, open. Two files compared are the same, so we have the exact file that we read out written in there. And that is that's a hard lesson learned when you don't take the time to do that. I've done it before. I've made that mistake, and I've had things sent back to me multiple times where all I would have had to done is reread it and write it again, and I wouldn't have had that problem. So make sure you guys are doing that when you're doing these, when you're cloning them.